Most RVs weren't designed or constructed for long-term living.
Yeah, let's face it, most folks use their RVs on the weekends or maybe for a few extended vacations per year.
So no matter if you're one of those weekend warriors or if you live in your RV full-time, we thought you might benefit from some of the changes that we made to our Bigfoot travel trailer over the last several years.
In the upcoming videos, we'll cover things we did to make the RV more livable, items that needed improvements,
ways to improve organization, making the RV more robust, making the RV smart,
and solutions to some of the problems we encountered.
If you're here for the travel videos though, don't worry, we're not going to release all the camper improvement videos back to back.
Yeah, there will still be plenty of travel content coming your way in between. Let's get things started. This time we'll share some of our solutions to the problems we encountered.
Well, it may not be a big deal if you're just traveling for short weekend trips. If you travel long-term, cellular connectivity becomes more important. We've been using this sleek 4G cell phone booster for a number of years now. It's a little outdated, but it still works. And it's got this cradle that you snap your cell phone into. It's got a little kickstand. You hook it up to an external antenna and then hook it up to a 12-volt power source. And it tends to boost your cell phone signal, I would say probably 1 or 2 bars on average. It works best if you can get the antenna up high and mount it outside the trailer. So this is the solution that we found. We made this aluminum pole that is magnetically mounted and it goes on the outside of the trailer. The antenna, also magnetically mounted, sticks to the top steel plate here on the top of the pole. And then this whole bit sticks out the window.
Out here you can see that we've mounted steel plates to the awning rail. So we simply line up the magnets that are on the antenna pole with the steel plates. And there you have it. The antenna is mounted high and outside. It's not a perfect solution because we can't close the window all the way, but for those times when we need that little bit of extra service, it's worth it.
For the next solution, let's come back inside.
Next up is the microwave. We found that on travel days, the glass turntable in here hopped around a lot, and we were concerned that it was going to break or that it was going to damage the inside of the microwave. So our solution was a carefully cut pool noodle, and it actually took us a couple of tries to get this right. We found that if it's too loose, the turntable still hops around. If it's too tight, it puts too much pressure on the inside of the microwave, and it might even crack the inside metal. Don't ask us how we know. We found the happy medium to be tight enough that it doesn't dance around in there, but not so tight that it's really hard to get in and out. Staying in the kitchen, we have another super easy solution over here at the sink. The faucet that came in our Bigfoot has a handle that lowers like this to turn the water on. That's great, except that we have heard horror stories from people who have accidentally left their water pump on travel days, and then the sink kind of jiggles its way until the water's running. And if you have your stopper in place, which we've heard people who did, it has flooded their entire camper. That's all we needed to hear to know that we weren't taking that chance. So we just got a giant twist tie that we put on like this, twist it around, and now there's no way that's going to jiggle itself on.
Let's take a look at the refrigerator. This is a NovaCool DC compressor style refrigerator, and it's working really well. But that hasn't always been the case. For the longest time, every time the temperature got just a bit warm in the trailer, it had a hard time keeping our food properly cooled. Since then, we've talked to NovaCool, we called their technical support line, and one of the first things they told us was to remove the drip tray. So you can see that with the drip tray gone, the chill plate gets a lot more air circulation. Helping with the air circulation, we also run 2 of these battery-operated fans to keep the air moving on the inside of the fridge. Most RV refrigerators, like the ones that run off propane, they ventilate to the outside. This particular model ventilates only to the inside, so you can see the ventilation grill here at the bottom. There's 2 compressors down here and some little mini radiators that are the cooling units, and the heat coming off of those only pushes out here at the bottom. There's a fan on each of those cooling units, but it really wasn't enough to keep the heat flowing out the front of the refrigerator here. So we came up with a solution where we have a much larger fan that pulls air through this area. It's mounted here behind the grill. Let's take a look. We added this fan you see in the middle, and it's wired to an external thermostat. It has a temperature sensor that's mounted to one of the compressors, and it has an adjustment screw to control when the fan kicks on or off. We also added this on-off switch to disable the system when not in use.
So Jeff was talking about the problems we had with the efficiency of the refrigerator, but I want to talk about two other problems we were having. First, the shelves kept sliding out, and it would leave a gap back in the back that stuff could fall through. So Jeff made these brackets and installed them, and 5 years and countless miles later, they're still holding strong, no more sliding in the shelves. Second, we had a problem with a lot of stuff coming forward during travel and then falling up against the door of the fridge so that when you open the refrigerator, stuff would fall out. You only have to have a ketchup bottle fall on your toe once to realize that's a problem you need to fix. So we bought these tension rods. They're designed for RV refrigerators. They just go like this. You put them right up against your stuff. They hold everything back, and there haven't been any more avalanches since. Moving on to the bathroom, we learned pretty quickly that if you're going to camp in the south in the summer, humidity is going to be a problem. We started out using regular terry cloth towels, but we found out that they don't dry ever. So we did a quick internet search and found these microfiber towels. They do take some getting used to because they don't slide over your skin as well as the terry cloths do, but to dry off with a dry towel every day, it's worth it.
We also found that if we wipe down the inside shower walls here when we're finished, it helps keep the overall humidity lower in the camper. To do that, we just use a little rubber squeegee like this one, but any one will do. We've all heard of the issues of moisture and condensation building up on the underside of an RV mattress. We really wanted to take some action to avoid that. So we installed this mattress ventilation pad that goes here underneath the mattress, and it's made by Dendri, and it's got like an open mesh design here to keep the air movement underneath the bed and keep the moisture away. Unfortunately, our trailer has sat outside its entire life. That means it's exposed to a lot of weather conditions, including a lot of summer sun. And the sun has really taken its toll on the Smart Jack. The control surface here on the top has started to bubble up, the decals are falling off the side, and it's really just kind of taking on an overall weathered appearance. We should have kept it covered from the start, but we learned the hard way, and now we keep it covered with this flexible kind of rubber bucket. We use a bungee cord to keep it in place, and because it's a rubber bucket, it can kind of breathe underneath so it doesn't trap any moisture. And on top of that, you got a bucket. Lots of great uses around the campsite.
As far as we know, there is no perfect RV. There are always problems that will arise and items to improve upon. We hope that you've gotten some ideas from us on ways to solve some of your own RV problems.
If so, hit the like button, and you might want to subscribe so you don't miss any of our future RV-related videos.
And definitely leave a comment down below on some of the solutions you've found for your RV. Thanks for watching.